respond the way he did. He didn't miss a beat. He was ready to go. As soon as I said, I think it was the fourth series, I said, "Are you ready?" And he goes, "I've been ready." And he went in and played really well. So I'm proud of him and excited to see what he can keep doing the rest of the year.
I guess halfway through regular season, just what have you found out what JC and Melvin have done at tackle? Just kind of maybe they're steady guys.
Well, I tell you, for one. We're a 5-1 team that has had to throw the ball, especially at the end of some games. And in years past, that has not been the case, right? We've given up multiple sacks or guys getting beat. Those guys, haven't been perfect, but they've been a consistent pass protectors. They've been consistent in their roles. They've really provided some stability at those two positions. And really, when you don't notice them, that's kind of a good thing in protection, right? And the pocket's been pretty much intact on the edges. And he's had, those guys have played some Penn State got a little bit away from us at the end with Carter, but for the most part, those guys have played some really good defenders, really good edge rushers. Usually the other team's best pass rushers go against those two every day or every play. And so been pleased with them, but not satisfied, I guess. I've been pleased with what they've done, but not satisfied. I think they can both get better. I think JC can get better on the backside of the run game. I think Melvin, just as he continues to build consistency with his technique, both those guys are good football players, and I'm really glad we have them.
What was your message to Josh Kreutz after that snap in State College? Was there anything in particular that you wanted to tell him?
Just put it behind you, right? I mean, it's a mistake. He made a mistake. It's a mistake that he doesn't make. He hasn't made one since he's really been here, and it happened at an opportune time. And if you come down on him in that situation and really kind of lambast him and talk about, oh, that's the reason why, or this or that, place blame there. It doesn't do you any good, and he knows that was uncharacteristic. He knows that was a critical error, but he responded the rest of the game, right? And then played. He was one of our players of the game against Purdue. He played one of the best games he had last week. So, for him, he's a captain. He's the leader of our line, obviously, and he makes all the calls. He's a tremendous football player, very aware and smart football player. Nobody was more upset in the entire Illini nation than Josh Kreutz at that, I promise you. And so, for him, it was just getting his confidence back and putting him behind him because we need him again, right? That's still the second quarter. And I think a good leader, in a situation like that, finds the solution, right? He identified the problem, find the solution, and move forward, right? So that doesn't happen again. And that was really our message for him.
What does that say about him just as an individual?
I just think he's a competitor. He's poised. He's mature. He has a very high standard for himself, but he also knows how to correct. And I think good guys, good players in any field, right? In any field, look at maybe what their weaknesses are and how they make those better, as opposed to placing blame somewhere else. Oh, it was wet. Oh, I couldn't hear. Oh, whatever. He didn't have an excuse. He goes, yeah, I made a mistake. I was trying to do this. I know what I need to do to fix it, and he did. So talks about him, his maturity, his growth, his standard he puts for himself, the toughness he has, the mental toughness he has, all the above.
Seems like the Purdue game represented progress for multiple guys. Is that what you saw on film, and is that something to build off of this week?
Yeah, really. I mean, when you look at the season, we've gotten better at certain things each week. And there's some games where we've struggled. Obviously, you look back, maybe our worst game was the Central Michigan game, to be honest with you, with just the amount of movement they did, and we were a little bit sloppy in some of our fits. Penn State, we competed for. What we're just talking about, right? I mean, we score in the goal line situation. It's probably a different game, but really pleased with the way they performed in Nebraska, the way they performed at Purdue, and obviously we're getting better and better and getting some continuity in there, and able to establish the run game in the last those two games, and really the result was there, right? In the second half, we kind of kept answering the call, right? And pleased with where we're at. Not satisfied though. Not satisfied at all.
Michigan's got some dudes. Got an All-American D tackle and Josiah Stewart, right, coming off the edge.
Stewart's good, yeah. 0, 78, 55. They're all really good. They all could be All-Americans in my opinion. They're if not the best D-line we've played, they're certainly up there. I mean, they are really, really talented, really good. They're sudden, they're physical, they use their hands well. They make a lot of plays, and we're gonna have our work cut out for us. Certainly, they're one of the best, if not the best in the country, in my opinion.
How are they different than Penn State? Is Penn State the quicker, twitchier, and this is a bigger, stouter?
Well, these guys are twitchy too, right? I mean, those two guys are fast. They have good second moves. They use their hands well. They're physical. They are bigger. They are more stout. They are bigger. They rotate guys in there, but those two play quite a bit. And then, the different personnel groupings that they use is a challenge, right? Because they can get in different looks and different fronts. It's very NFL based, right? But I've been very impressed on film with what you see. Just the consistency there, right? Some guys flash. These guys flash every play, and so they're incredibly talented and look forward to competing.
How would you describe the mindset of your group going into that challenge?
Well, I think any competitor is hungry for that competition and that challenge, right? I mean, that's why we're here. Nobody's going to shy away from anything. Nobody's going to back away. Nobody's scared of that, right? I think it's any O-line coach, any O-line position is going to run full steam into the fight, and if they don't, they're in the wrong position, right? And so, that's our plan is we're going to go compete, and it's a great challenge playing against the best. Man, these guys won the national championship last year, and then this D-line is top of the line. So it's a good test to see where we are and how we can play our brand of football, and then they got to play a game here, and hopefully the crowd shows up, and it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Does Michigan do a good job of getting pressure outside of just the defensive line, like linebackers or other positions?
Yeah, sure. They've got some complicated pressure packages on third down, and they don't necessarily need to pressure a whole bunch on early downs. They have so much success, but they do pressure from time to time, and they're talented across the board. You look at the board, there's really not really a weak spot. So it's a very solid defense and solid personnel and good above solid. They're fantastic personnel. It's a good defense, and it'll be a good challenge for us. Really good challenge.
How would you say Brandon Henderson graded out in his first start?
He did some really good things and some really instinctual things. There's a play that Purdue gave us a kind of a strange line game, and he saw it, adapted, ran up and fit on the second level, and Aiden had a really good run on that one. That's a very high-level play for him. So he did some really instinctual things. There's some other stuff he struggled with, right? I mean, first start, you kind of anticipated that. There's some technique, consistency, and things of that nature. But proud of him, thought he did some good things, and excited to see what he can continue to build on.
Britt said Josh had probably his best game of the year. How
is he?
Yeah. Is he built up after missing that time in training camp? Like, did that have any impact, or what have you seen from him?
I think Josh played pretty well all year, to be honest with you. He's been one of our players of the week a couple times now, I think. But just he's our knockdown leader so far. You guys have charted that before. He had 9 against Purdue, and no MEs graded out in the 90s. And just to have in that defense, particularly Purdue, and it's very similar to our structure. The center's isolated one-on-one all the time with a zero nose, and usually that's a bigger bodied guy. For Purdue, it's a bigger bodied guy. So Josh was giving up some size, and just the way he was able to play with that, and no MEs against some of those things, and that long a game, that high pressure situation, it just speaks to the way he prepares. I mean, he's a consummate professional in terms of how he goes about his business. Obviously, he's still in college, but grew up in the game, grew up watching his father prepare, and just the importance of that for the center position. And he takes his captaincy very seriously, and that I think is something that I'm so proud of him for. It's very easy, right? In the past, when leaders are not full leaders, right, you can see the fluctuation in the team, right? Our leadership, especially on offense, guys like him and Pat Bryant. I mean, it's Tanner Arkin. It's just phenomenal what you can accomplish, right? And, you're down 43-40 with 42 seconds left, and I looked over on the side behind me, and Josh is ready to go. He's like, "Let's go 2 minutes. Let's go." And there wasn't a doubt that they were going to go perform, and that's a sign of a leader. It's a sign of a guy that doesn't flinch when adversity hits, and that could have gone south very quickly, and it didn't. And I credit those guys for that.